Why the left fears Sarah Palin. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Governor Palin and I talked on camera for about an hour this afternoon. We show you the interview Thursday, Friday, and next Monday, and I think you'll find it interesting. But what I find fascinating is the bashing the governor continues to receive. Here's what was said on CNN last night.
She wasn't just doing what the McCain team wanted. She was carrying water for policies of Rove and Cheney and Bush, including policies on torture. Bear with me. And history has seen plenty of examples of a cabal, a group of people who get into power and then choose a telegenic, charming, Evita-type front person.
Notice the Evita reference. Evita was Eva Perón, a populist in Argentina loved by the folks who achieved big-time power. Far-left pundit Eugene Robinson picked up the theme in the Washington Post. Quote, "No force on earth can stop Sarah Palin from becoming our very own light version of Eva Perón, a glamorous and tragic legend." Now, what are the odds that Naomi Wolf and Eugene Robinson, who operate worlds apart, come up with the Eva Perón comparison at exactly the same time? I think slim and none would be the answer to that question. So the left is now peddling Sarah Palin as a shallow demagogue who would lead us to tragic circumstance, and fear is driving that point of view. A study last year by the Culture and Media Institute, a conservative group, examined network news coverage of Mrs. Palin from September 29th to October 12th as she campaigned. There were 69 stories about the governor. 37 of them were negative, 30 neutral, just two positive. 21 of the stories portrayed Sarah Palin as unintelligent and unqualified. 8 stories used clips from Saturday Night Live to ridicule her. ABC News was hardest on Mrs. Palin, closely followed by NBC News. Again, is that kind of presentation an accident? No. So what is the left really frightened about? When a CBS poll shows just 23% of Americans have a favorable view of Mrs. Palin. Well, potential. That's what they're frightened of. The same CBS poll shows 37% of Americans are basically undecided about Governor Palin. So she has the potential to persuade millions of voters that her vision for the country is worthy. Mrs. Palin is the only Republican who is a genuine star, a media phenomenon. If she can recapture credibility, she can rise fast. Now today, folks are getting fed up with government intrusion, political correctness, and murky policies that drain personal freedom. Polls show President Obama slipping big in job approval. If that continues, a populist like Sarah Palin might well emerge as a serious contender for power. That is why the attacks on her keep on coming. The left fears Sarah Palin. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction with us, Fox News analyst, the Barack and Hard Place duo, Monica Crowley and Alan Colmes. Now, Colmes, you're not buying the fear thing.
No, fear?
So, very simple question. I'm a very simple man, and I believe you are as well.
Yes, we have that in common, Bill.
If it isn't fear, why the continuing vehement attacks on a woman who does not hold public office, who lives far, far away in Alaska, who has 5 children? Why the attacks?
The fact that she lives far away or has 5 children has nothing whatsoever to do with it. Some of it is sexism. The Eva Perón thing is sexism. They did the same thing to Hillary Clinton. I Googled it today. 7,000
So Naomi Wolf, the feminist icon, is practicing sexism?
No, I said some of it is.
But not Naomi.
Not necessarily.
She would never do that.
I don't know what's in her heart. I Googled Eva Perón and Sarah Palin, 7,000, and Hillary Clinton, 7,000 hits compared to maybe 3,000 for Sarah Palin. They did it to Hillary Clinton. They did the same exact thing.
Eva Perón
exact thing. Absolutely.
Okay. But you're not answering the question, Colmes, and I'll pose it again in a very simple way. If it isn't fear driving the attacks...
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's an amusement.
Amusement?
It's amusement. She's an amusement. She's not a serious policy person. This is a person, and I wouldn't use this terminology. David Brooks called her a joke. I wouldn't say that.
David Brooks is a conservative columnist. He's not really conservative,
but he's conservative. You've got every single, almost every staffer...
But I want to understand you, Colmes. So Sarah Palin is an amusement.
Yes.
She's like a ride in a park.
Pretty much. I find it very amusing.
So people take umbrage at an amusement.
She's an amusement.
No, but it's more than that. They're bitterly opposed to a Ferris wheel.
I disagree.
That's what you're saying.
No,
I disagree. It doesn't make any sense, Colmes.
I disagree
You're a
with
pinhead,
the characterization.
but you don't have another reason.
So you want to call me a name? That's
I did. I desperately wanted. All right, let's go over to the voice of sanity here.
It's not bitterness, O'Reilly. It's not bitterness.
Okay, he doesn't know what it is. What is it?
This is very simple. Sarah Palin represents an existential threat to liberalism.
I don't know what existential means.
I'll tell you what. She threatens the very heart of liberalism. Why? Because she is a pro-life, pro-gun, conservative woman who actually leads her life according to those values. votes. Therefore, she must be destroyed. Because look at the very basis of the Democratic constituency. In large part, it's women. They vote on the abortion issue. And here's a woman with the guts to stand up and say, look, I oppose what the Democrats stand for.
Colmes says she's nothing more than a diversion and amusement. And I don't know why you would bring that kind of rancor to... If Sarah Palin had no credibility, was not a threat to anybody, why bother?
Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. She drives a stake right into the heart of liberalism.
But only 23% of Americans, Monica, right now have a favorable view of the governor.
She also represents the real possibility to redefine feminism. That's why you have people like Naomi Wolf screaming bloody murder about her. Her power is that she is a conservative and a woman. I grant you this, that the media really trashed her. And what she is doing now is trying to clean up the perception of her that was done during the campaign, and she needs to do that before she gets back into heavy policy.
If a liberal did this, she'd be all over her for playing the victim. It's the fault of the McCain staffers.
Did you read the
fault
book?
of the media.
Did you read the book?
The book just came out today. I didn't read the book.
I read it. I read the book because I had an interview today. She doesn't play the victim. She answers specifically.
Everything is either Katie Couric's
You want to keep quiet a minute? You didn't read the book. I read the book. I want to tell the people. She doesn't play the victim. She answers specific criticisms that were trumpeted in the media. She doesn't play the victim.
And what's interesting is every McCain staffer, the people whose job it was to make sure that she was looking good during the campaign, disputes whether it's Salter or whether it's Schmidt,
true,
or whether
because she's hard on the campaign.
They all dispute her account in this book.
You still have not defined for me, and I'm going to give you one more chance, why people would take a hateful view of an amusement.
Bill, you didn't give me a chance to respond earlier. It's not hateful. I don't see it as hateful.
Not hateful.
I believe that we are
attacking her children, saying that she...
The Associated Press, not exactly a left-wing outfit, did a fact check and discovered a number of things she said in this book just are not true, whether it's how much stimulus Alaska gets, or whether... This is not a policy book. This is even the score book by somebody who is angry.
Sarah Palin has been subjected to the most brutal and vicious attacks I have ever seen leveled against politicians. And look, I worked for Richard Nixon. I was a supporter of George W. Bush. I know that this is hardball, but what this woman has been subjected to is unconscionable. And there's another reason for it. Not only does she represent this huge threat to the very heart of liberalism, but you mentioned the populist wave. That is a huge backlash against all of the Obama policies. It's already here, Bill. And what they fear is that she, because she's a populist, plain-spoken, honest, from the heartland, that she will be able to maximize that wave and capitalize on it.
Well, we talk
and therefore,
about that.
She must be destroyed.
I want to give folks now a little preview. I get into, number one, I get into why she believes that she's criticized so harshly. And number two, I get into that populist wave and whether she wants to lead it. Now, I'm not going to tell you what she says because, of course, I want you to watch. But I'll tell you what. This interview that I did with Sarah Palin's unlike Oprah, unlike Barbara Walters. We don't really care about Levi Johnston and whether he's going to be invited to Thanksgiving dinner. No. We talked about policy, hardcore policy, media, ideology, and who the heck she really is.
You know, and at Colmes and the left, when they criticize her as being a joke, this was a woman who has
I didn't say she's a joke.
She doesn't come across as a joke in this interview.
That's not my word. I don't say that.
Well, I'm going to be interested to hear what you watch that interview. Wait a minute, Monica. You watch that interview. She doesn't come across a joke in this interview. And this is just like the Obama interview, very close quartered.
Good.
Very, mono a...
Let me clarify something here. Democrats pray she's a nominee in 2012. Let her be.
Well,
Let
that's
her
interesting.
You know what?
Because that's now. But then... It's going to be a different landscape.
She has more executive experience in her little finger than Barack Obama ever did.
You running her campaign.
No, but when they're
I think I got a gig for you, Monica.
Monica may be running her
campaign. I got a gig for her.
All right, I got to go.
I think that hurry.
You can't even listen to the other point of view.
I just did.
All over my
I heard two against one.
I know. Slap him after the camera's over because I don't want to be blamed for violence.